Hey guys, welcome back to I Am Loved. My name is Marisa and today we're going to talk all about how to make the most of your smaller space. So in the part of the world that I live in, I am considered to have a small home. My entire main floor, my entry, my living room, my entrance to the backyard, my kitchen and my dining area, all of that combined is 409 square feet, which where you live might be massive and could be considered really large and spacious, but in the part of the world I am, that's considered a small main floor. So I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit today about what you could do if you're in a similar situation to me and you have small square footage, how you can make the most of your living space, specifically in a smaller home. Okay, I got some really great tips, but before I share them, I would love if you would take a second and tap subscribe and be a part of this growing community. I post design videos on Thursday, and my intention is to give you guys tips and tricks in order to help you make the most of your space and stay on a budget while creating a home that you love. Doesn't do any good to create a home that copies somebody else. You really want to have a space that reflects who you are. So come along and be a part of this channel, subscribe so that you can learn more to create that kind of home for you. I know that I'm going to be asked this in the comments, so I'm just going to answer it right up front. My kitchen space in here is 8 feet 7 inches by 17 feet. That includes the dining space that I'm sitting at now. That's from wall to wall, from the backsplash to the opposite side of the island. My living room space is 11 by 12, and I don't have the actual measurements for my front entrance. It's like around, I don't know, 5 by 7-ish. So it's a smaller space and it has worked really well for our family. We have loved living in this home. We've been here for about 11 years now, and about 6 years ago we did a renovation to the main floor. I'm actually right now sitting in what used to be the living room, and the kitchen used to be over on that side of the home. We took down the walls, reconfigured it, and it works so well for us. We love this home. We love the space we have. It's been such a blessing. But I do want to share with you a few things that we did to make our main floor feel a little bit more spacious, and things that really work for us when trying to decorate and outfit a smaller home. So first of all, the first thing that we did was we bought condo-sized furniture. Our sofa and our coffee table are all smaller versions of regular size furniture, and it helps make the space feel more spacious than it is, because if you were to have put a regular size sofa in here, it would take up so much of the floor that it would really feel like a smaller room. So getting condo-sized furniture was really beneficial for helping create the look like we had more space. One thing to keep in mind when you do that is it really will impact the amount of people that you can have into your home and comfortably seat. Obviously, if you have a small space, it's not like you're throwing big, massive parties anyways, but just be mindful when you're selecting your furniture. When you have a small space, it will limit the amount of people you can have in your space comfortably at one time. Having said that, our family, including the extended family, there's 13 of us, and we've all been in our main floor, table, living area, just kind of like hanging around the different parts of our main floor on the island. And it has worked, and we have loved having those family times together. So totally works. You just have to be a little bit more creative. The second thing we did to try to make our space feel bigger and have it flow a little bit better was we used one flooring all throughout the main space, other than at the front entry. I just don't really want to have hardwood floors at my front entry. I wanted to define the space with some fun tile. So other than that, the rest of the entire main floor is the same flooring. If there would have been changing from like a hardwood floor to a tile floor where the kitchen started, it really would have made the space visually appear smaller than it is, and you really have lost the flow and continuity that having one flooring throughout those two spaces brings. I also opted for light walls. Now I know that that's a trick to try to make a space look bigger and brighter, but I did that because I really love white walls as the backdrop. I'm a huge fan of white walls. My favorite favorite color is Simply White by Benjamin Moore. I'm also really a big fan of Cloud White. I think it's really lovely too. And if you want a more warm white that really feels like it's hugging you, Sherwin-Williams has Panda White, and it is my newest favorite paint color. I think it is so beautiful, but I really love the backdrop of white walls. I'm drawn to that regardless of whether it makes I'm drawn to that whether it makes my space feel bigger or smaller. But obviously it's one of the tricks that does make a space feel bigger is we went with all white walls. One thing that actually really helps your eyes feel like your room is bigger than it is by using furniture that has see-through qualities. So whether that's glass coffee tables, glass side tables, or in our case, we have these replica diamond chairs. These were a mid-century modern design chair that I absolutely love. And so we bought a replica version of the original, and they're see-through. So no matter where we place them in the space, they don't take up visual room, which really helps make a space feel bigger than it really is. Obviously, the same is true with transparent things like glass or acrylic. Anytime you can remove your eye from stopping at a piece of furniture and it can see right through it and right past it, that's going to create the illusion that your space is bigger than it really is. Another thing to be mindful of in a smaller space is the room layout. There are a handful of different ways we can arrange our living room furniture within this floor print. Actually, I will link a video below to show you 3 different ways we can make our room feel totally different simply by changing the furniture. But really be mindful of your furniture placement when you have a smaller space. There's certain things you can do to make it feel bigger and to make the flow of traffic work better in a smaller space versus some other things that really hinder the flow of traffic. In that other video, you'll see 1 out of the 3 options really does make the space feel smaller and hinders the flow of traffic when you first walk in the front door. So learning kind of just different ways you could place your furniture in your space is going to make a big impact on whether it feels open and airy and like it flows really well. My favorite way to place furniture on our main floor is to float the sofa. And what I mean by that is to not have it against the wall. By pulling it out and putting it floating here with its back to the island, what that allows is for me to pull the sofa as close to the island as I can to create almost like a hallway at the bottom of those stairs behind me. This is like a hallway that just basically you walk through to get to the dining area or get to the front door. And that allows us to make the living room be as big as it can because I've pulled the sofa back as far as it can towards the island. If it's flipped and if the sofa's on the other wall, it feels really awkward to have those 2 chairs kind of pulled back so far. I can't really explain why, but it just doesn't work as well. You'll see in that video because that's one of the 2 options that I show in that video. Although in that video, there's different chairs being used, but you'll still see the general concept. So by having my sofa floating here, it just creates the most space in my living room. There's a great flow of traffic from going to the back door or going from the front door or going down to the basement or coming down from upstairs. Like it all flows really well. So really be mindful of your furniture placement. It can make or break a space feeling really small and congested or more open and airy. So kind of in line with condo furniture is I've always selected low profile furniture for this space. We have 7.5 foot high ceilings here, and by having lower profile furniture, it makes the room feel bigger than it is. We recently just purchased a new dining room table, and the same thing there. It's a little bit lower, and it just, the whole room feels bigger because you can see more of the walls. You can see more of the space because the furniture profile is lower. So keep that in mind, and there is a balance to strike between low profile furniture and uncomfortable furniture. We have been on sofas before where you go to sit back and there's just not enough support because it's so low profile. So really be mindful of that. If you choose to get some low profile furniture, you still want it to feel like it's comfy and it's something you want to sit in and lean back and read a good book in, while maintaining as low of a profile as you can and keeping it condo sized to really fit into your space nicely. A huge way to make your space look bigger, everyone knows this, is by using mirrors. Mirrors reflect natural light, so they make the space feel brighter. They also give the illusion that the wall doesn't stop right where the mirror is. It gives the illusion that the wall goes further. And also it reflects all of the things in the room. So, you know, mirrors are a great trick, a great way to make a space feel bigger. So in our main floor, I have used two, one at the front entrance and then another one over on what used to be a faux fireplace. Now there's a different console table back there. But always mirrors to help just create this depth and this illusion like the room is bigger and wider and broader than it actually is. It works. It's one of my favorite tricks. Plus you get to look at yourself every time you walk by. And finally, I would say try to be mindful of creating open spaces. So what do I mean by that? You don't want to have space, furniture next to furniture, next to furniture, next to furniture. Sometimes you think that if I bring in more furniture into my space, it'll feel fuller and bigger, when actually the opposite is true. If you can figure out what furniture items do you need for a functional space, bring those in, and then really just look back, like step back and look and say, do I really need any other pieces of furniture in here? And if I do, am I going to be creating a line of furniture and then removing open, airy spaces for breathing? Whenever there's kind of these open spaces, it gives the illusion like, look at all the extra space you have. But the only way to really accomplish that in a small space is by paring back the amount of furniture you bring into that space. So it's kind of counterintuitive to what you might think. So that means for us, we have 2 chairs and a little glass table between them, nothing around them. Just keep it as is. I could bring a plant. I could bring in some additional decor. I could bring in something over on the other side of the living room where we have more breathing space along the back wall, and there's the space to bring in more items. But by letting there be breathing room, it just feels like, look it, you've got all this seating, you've got extra furniture pieces, coffee table, side table, decor, books, mirrors, all things, and there's still room for breathing. So take a look around your space and just think, did I try to make it look bigger by bringing in more furniture? And maybe will I accomplish making it look bigger by removing some furniture and creating some breathing space? For all of you other smaller homeowners that are out there, I hope that this video is helpful. I hope you get some tips for how to decorate your smaller living room space. I know there's always someone who has a smaller space than yours. I know there's people that always have a larger space than yours. So whatever the space is that you're in, love it. Make it be a reflection of you. Own it. Make it be the greatest space that it can be for you, your family, for your lifestyle. And then just sit back and appreciate the beautiful space you've created that really truly feels like home. You guys have an awesome day. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you back here next time.